Hello everyone, my name is David Colon. I'm back on the rooftop. Last week was a little too cold to be up here, but I'm in Brooklyn, New York, specifically on Williamsburg, Brooklyn. This area is fast growing, but it already has about 35,000 people per square mile. It is an area with customers that are culturally diverse, that appreciate the diversity in cultures and also in food, and are looking for an alternative to the restaurants that are already in the area. Although it's a very competitive area, there's a lot more space for another restaurant that can bring another style of food. In my case, it would be a Pacific Island grill, and will also bring high quality customer service, which the customers in this area are looking for. The area is still growing. Several apartment developments are coming up. New York City is a little overcrowded, so a lot of people are moving to this area, and I can take advantage of that growth and of the needs that people already have here in Williamsburg. I am still developing my business. I don't have a name. I'm still looking for partners, although I have talked to some partners that are willing to hear the idea. I will be more detailed about that in just a minute. But the plan's coming together. I am definitely much further ahead of where I thought I was going to be, and I'm happy to say that things are falling into place. Specifically, the concept of having a business that fits what people are looking for in this market. Hello again, this is week number 5. There's a lot of information, so I'm going to go through it very quickly so I can stay within the time. The value proposition hasn't really changed. If you see things in blue, those are the new things that I've added to this week. Purple was for last week and red for the previous week before that. Table service, I keep on going back and forth on this because the more research I do, I get different ideas, so I'm having to really consider that, and I'll explain that a little bit later when I talk about the interviews that I did. When it comes to revenue, this is going to be an asset sale. I mean, we're just a restaurant, nothing special when it comes to ways to making money. It is straight to the customer. It's a brick and mortar retail, direct to the customer, and a third party, something like Grubhub, that would be a website that people can access and request food from us, and it gets delivered through basically their process and their delivery people. Pricing. Fixed. It's a little too early to determine. I think eventually, as I understand all the cost of products and all the different things that come with how much it's going to cost me to produce, for example, a meal, then I can put a percentage on top of that. But right now, I don't have all that research to be able to do that. Value pricing is pretty much what I have to rely on at this moment. Understanding what kind of restaurant I have and how it fits the different restaurants in the area and their pricing by talking to people. That way I understand how to price my product, and I do understand that this could be a mistake that can be made when pricing our product, trying to compare it to other products in the area that are similar. But in my case, it would be to price it similar and try to provide much better customer service, great quality, and try to keep the cost down, and that'll give us an edge. And then bundling, when it comes to providing a product, in this case, it would be food. The idea of it is to have a menu that already has a specific set of ingredients in it. For example, we have one meat and 2 different starches or sides, and then adding an extra meat would be another, a higher package, and so on. And I'm looking to stay around the $15 a meal, and then adding to that will continue to add pricing or money to or cost in this case. It is an existing market. And again, competitors, I'll talk about competitors in just a second. So I'm penetrating an existing market, and I just have to compare what competitors are doing. In this case, I mean, the prices are all over the place. You can find a slice of pizza for a large slice of pizza for a couple of dollars, and in some other areas you pay $40 for a meal. So there is a big range, but also it means that there's potential for everything. There's potential to fit in between that somewhere. In metrics, net profit margin, I'm shooting for about a 6 to 7%. I came to this because a fast food restaurant will be around a 6% to a 9% profit margins, while a full service restaurant would be around a 3 to 5% net profit margin. And my concept is a quick service. It kind of fits in between. It has a little bit of the quickness of the fast food and a little bit of the full service when it comes to the quality of food. So I expect it to be around there. So of course, net profit is sales versus cost. Prime costs. I'm concerned about, not concerned, but I would be concerned about this and understand that this when I have the business is some of all the labor costs and the cost of the goods being sold, keeping that within 60 to 65%. It seems to be an average in the industry. What this will allow me to do is to really understand, these are costs that I can actually move up or down. For example, my rent is something that is I'm gonna have to most likely is going to be the same every month, so I can't really adjust that. I might not be able to adjust my internet access, for example, or so all those bills will be a specific cost to me, but I can work on having less employees or more employees, or giving them more hours or less hours, or more benefits or less benefits. That way, when we're hurting, I can adjust those, and also the cost of goods being sold, switching suppliers. I can do that to be able to keep those prime costs down to help the net profits in the end. The break-even point, of course, trying to figure out how quickly we can get within that month to that break-even point. So to understanding, after that, how much profit we're going to get, or how much time do we have to make profit. When it comes to risks, the economy, of course, it's been going up, but I can tell just by looking around that there's a little bit of a slowdown. A lot of businesses are failing. A lot of things have happened here in New York City, like the minimum wage went up. There's a lot of major companies that have been coming in, like Google, and things are becoming very expensive. Rents are becoming very expensive. So, economy going up is not always a great thing, because it leaves us, the little people, no space. Also, the elections coming up in about a year. So considering, closer to election time, economy doesn't necessarily do great because of, different expectations. So, I might have to wait a year after the election to actually understand where we are at that moment. Faulty market research is also a risk. I've been talking to people, but it seems like, the more research I do, people's ideas are everywhere, so it's difficult to really pinpoint exactly what people want. So the risk is that I don't get the right research and put out there a product that is not needed. Management and operations, the risk is to hire the wrong people, to hire the management that it doesn't see the culture of the business and cannot project that to the employees, and we can fail because of that. Competitors, when it comes to service, very different styles of service. We have them all in here. Truck service, fast food, quick service, full service, huge variety. There's space for everyone. Price, a big range. Like I mentioned before, you can pay $5 for a full meal in one place, but then my fiance works at a restaurant that the average is 50, 60, sometimes $100 per person. after you drink, a couple of $20 glasses of wine. The product quality, I can tell you that everything I've tasted, maybe two restaurants out of the many I've tasted, I haven't been happy with, but everything else, the quality is amazing. So considering that, because of course, I'm looking to provide great quality, so I'm competing with a lot of quality in the area. Partners, operations, and a manager partner. So I met this assistant manager not too long ago, and I worked with him. He was actually my manager. He was amazing. Huge concept of business, great with the staff, great trainer. And I mentioned to him about my business idea that I was hoping to put together a restaurant in the area, and he actually gave me a couple of the first thing he said, nothing fancy, let's just push some product out, and that's why my concept of serving at a counter or ordering at a counter and then having the food delivered to the table as opposed to full table service. Uh, I thought it's a great idea, and I'm still debating that. My fiance, she's a driving force. If it was for her, she would try to open this next week. But she does have a huge business sense, understanding of people, customer service, and she's always been pushing for me to go forward with things. So she's a partner out of just her being there and pushing her way through it, which is a great thing. I definitely appreciate that. Risks, not ready. I mean, not being ready. I mean, for myself, I'm still learning New York, and for my partners, not really being ready to take on that much responsibility, and relationship stress. And this is being a business owner before, there's a lot when it comes to having family or having friends as your employees or your partners, and you defer in some ideas. And relationship stress can be the worst thing that can happen to a business because it's pretty much, you're trying to create a business to support your life and to have a better life. And here you are having a terrible life because your relationships are doing terrible because of the stress of the business. So that's a huge risk that I really take into consideration. Partner benefits to the partner. I think I have a lot of experience in business, a lot of structure that I can bring with it, a good reputation in the community. I do my research, and the research will be done for someone to jump in. And the potential, I mean, there's a lot of money to be made. For me to have partners, of course, the workload, this would be someone that can operate the business while I do most of the marketing and do all the community involvement. Exclusivity, I'm not interested at the moment. I think as you progress and find more suppliers that can deliver and can deliver for cheap, you can try to do some exclusivity with them to get better pricing, but it's too early to determine. Research, I talked to when it comes to partners, the person that would be the operator, my fiance, definitely. A trainer survey, the person who trained me for the restaurant I was working here in New York City, I admire her. So I think she'd be a great trainer. When it comes to customers, I talked to some customers. Table service is important, but every time I ask the question, would it deter you if the place was had the same quality of food that you're looking for, but it was serviced at the front? And everyone said no, not at all. The ambience, I'm still determining that. People are giving me ideas on that. Business owners, I talked to a business owner that has a coffee shop next door. When it comes to organic, she said people really don't care. People don't care for organic. They say they want to, but in the end, they're still willing to pay less for non-organic, but more instead of paying more for organic. Restaurant format, she said that in the area anything works. And when it comes to survival, she survives because her rent is very cheap because the building is owned by her parents. So she said it's very difficult to do so without that kind of help. And this is it, guys. Thank you.